Hello, my name is Betty, and if you're new here, I am living and traveling in my minivan, seeking out beautiful and interesting places that I can share here with you. On Saturday, the 21st of June, I entered Yellowstone Park for the very first time. One of the first things to greet me was a bison sauntering down the other lane of the highway. Before my plans changed, I had decided to come back to this area, so on this time through I didn't stop very many places. My first stop was the petrified tree. It was interesting, but not too much to look at. Next, I stopped at a boardwalk nature trail. This provided a great deal of information about the wildlife, plants, and rock formations in the park. So this is the glacial boulder, I guess. I'll have to read about it. Moving on, I stopped at a trailhead for Wraith Falls. The hike was lovely, but I didn't capture much footage from it. The falls themselves were very odd. They really looked more like a giant white rock or a snow patch on the mountain. If you look closely, however, you can see water flowing. Only a short drive away was a picnic area at Lava Creek. I noticed a trailhead for Undean Falls, and I had to check it out. A half-mile hike brought me to the overview of the upper falls. I sat there for a bit, taking it all in. I then set off to see the lower falls. This brought me into a canyon. When I reached the end, this is what I saw. Okay, I just went all this way. Supposed to be some falls here. The trail marker says it's here, but this is what I'm seeing. I mean, you can kind of see it in the distance. But I saw some kind of large animal feces along the way, and I'm not feeling very comfortable about this. So I'm gonna head back. After getting back in the car, I drove about a quarter mile and saw an overlook for Undean Falls. I do think that the view from the hike was much better for the upper falls, however. After I checked into my campsite, I decided to explore some more. I drove around the Upper Springs area, and this is the only picture that I took. I then came to what they call the Golden Gate Canyon. The bridge here is the fourth one constructed. The first was a wooden structure in 1885. By 1900, it was getting dangerous and had to be rebuilt. It was again rebuilt in 1933 and then the present structure in 1977. The original bridge in 1885 was one of the most challenging and expensive parts of the original road through the park. It was getting later in the day and I really wanted to see the Norris Geyser Basin, so I headed straight there. This is the hottest section of the park. It is divided into two sections, the Porcelain Basin and the Black Basin. I decided to visit the Porcelain Basin first. To be honest, my first impressions were that it was interesting, but kind of ugly. As I progressed further into the park, things did improve. I took way too many clips, so I am just sharing the highlights here with you. After a bit, I made my way into the Black Basin area. Here things definitely got more interesting as I went. Pine trees are really cool looking. Don't know what they are. I did not experience any significant activity while I was here, but it was still a very great place to visit.